This is textbook authoritarian takeover 101.
I knew I should have taken that class and not majored in submissive liberal crying 101.
Did Jon Stewart just support Trump? He just shocked the left by calling out their fake claims against him.
Democrats, inspire my anger in the least charismatic way possible.
Donald Trump's decision to fire 12 of the federal government's independent watchdogs is a glaring sign that it's a golden age. And Donald Trump's decision to fire 12 of the federal...
Is Schumer AI? Is he DeepSeek?
He has a point, because the way politicians talk sometimes is enough to make anyone confused.
What Trump did violated the law. He can't just fire these people.
Is a specific law that requires notice, 30 days, and a statement of reasons, substantive and detailed rationale.
What? I'm sorry, what? Oh, apparently you can fire them, but you have to give them 30 days notice. Oh, so that's what we're upset about? No! You can do it, but not in that font!
Basically, Trump wasn't breaking the law by firing them, just breaking the rule about giving them a heads up first.
These pardons are sick. They are offensive. They are un-American.
I knew I should have taken that class. And not majored in submissive liberal crying 101.
He exercised the presidential pardon power, granted by Article 2, Section 2, Clause 1 of the U.S. Constitution, that every president has had. And now it is labeled as textbook authoritarianism.
Abuse of pardon power? I don't know. But that is his constitutional power. To put that in constitutional terms, if I could, don't hate the player. Hate the founding fathers.
For the left, it sucks when the person they don't like uses the powers that have always been there, but that's the system. And if you thought they overreacted, wait till you hear their thoughts on Trump's immigration plans.
President Trump deploying executive action to end birthright citizenship.
This unconstitutional, un-American attack.
Shredding our Constitution.
Wants to be a strongman authoritarian.
Even if he just lifted his hand, they would still scream dictatorship.
And to just stroke of a pen, finally I agree. That is authoritarian.
We do begin tonight with the federal judge blocking President Trump's executive order that would end birthright citizenship.
And we're back. See how easy that was? It was a dictatorship, and then the judge went...
The checks and balances are still there. But every time Trump does something, we hear fascism before anything happens.
Anyway, birthright citizenship is back!
No, obviously we'll appeal it.
Damn you, constitutionally enshrined judicial review of executive action and its relief through the appellate process. Look, we are facing a deluge of these executive actions, and certainly we must be prepared for those most vulnerable to the consequences of these actions.
This is exactly why Jon Stewart stands out. He delivers the truth with humor. They are acting like Trump rewrote the Constitution, when in reality, the system is functioning the way it always has.
But the "this is all fascist" argument has become almost a reflex for the left.
Donald Trump promised to be a dictator on day one, and he's carried that forward through the entire week.
Fascism scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being peak fascism. How would you rate Trump's first week?
He also reminded them to take a step back and focus on what truly matters.
I would say it's not fascism. Do I not understand what fascism is? And also, if I may, and this may be petty, why are we asking someone who, at the end of January, still has his Christmas tree up? I have a lot of fear that as this term goes on, things are going to get a little fascisty. And we must be vigilant. But part of vigilance is discernment.
He is advising them to be smart, constantly screaming fascism over every little thing. Makes it unoriginal. Like, come on, at least come up with something new.
Control the House, the Senate, the executive, and the judiciary. And just about every move that has been made till this point, we have granted them electorally. The constant drumbeat of encroaching fascism will erode the credibility we will need if, hopefully if and not when it hits.
People love to blame Trump, but they voted for him. Face the truth. Elections have consequences. You can't be surprised when the leader you chose follows through on his promises, especially when he won the majority vote, showing that most people support his policies.
Is that for now, his most objectionable actions have taken place almost entirely within our designed democratic system. Like the confirmation process. Despite claims of meritocracy, Trump has put forth some of the least LinkedIn people you could imagine.
He also pointed out that the steps Trump is taking are within the same system that existed when the left was in power.
It wasn't foisted upon us by a dictator. There was no authoritarian end run, no royal edicts. This shit happened to us as designed, advised, but mostly consent. Passed through the Armed Services Committee, put through a Senate vote. 3 Republicans, of course, made a show of, this is the most outrageous, I cannot in good conscience.
The rules were not broken. They simply worked in his favor, and that is what they refuse to accept.
Trump's using the almost absolute power we have constitutionally granted him and the Republicans.
Republicans are out here playing along because most of them like what he's doing.
Philosophy. For all of it. Appointing people, firing people, writing executive orders, taking Greenland, making Wikipedia-like edits to the literal globe. But unfortunately, as of now, he's pretty much just democratically grabbing our pussy.
Looking at his laws and principles, he is not bending the rules. He is using them exactly as they were designed.
Consent of the people. For God's sakes, his deportation orders are so popular, they have collabs.
TV personality Dr. Phil tagged along on a Chicago raid.
You've never been deported before?
Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil.
Know me? You've been in one thing.
Trump is taking the system and using it to his advantage. He has turned deportations into entertainment.
The Trump administration was clearly ready for this. It was almost as though they had some project for what they might do in 2025.
And said he thought more than 1 million Palestinians in Gaza could be moved to nearby Arab countries.
So emboldened, he wants to start deporting people from other people's countries.
Trump is known for getting up and making moves. Meanwhile, most politicians can't even plan past next week.
Really hope the Democrats figure out a way to contain this guy. The question is probably not, how dare he, though? The question should be, what are you learning from this? How would you use this power? What's your contract with America?
Democrats keep saying Trump is dangerous, yet they are not showing how they are a better option.
Just outside of him, tell people what you would do with the power that Trump is wielding, and then convince us to give that power to you as soon as possible. That's the goal. It's enough with the, he's a Hitler, he's a thing, stop doing it, that's terrible. What would you do?
Jon Stewart always knows how to get to the point and call out the BS. What do you think about his take on the fascism claims?